My fiancé's family psychic said I was bad energy and demanded I pay for an expensive cleansing ritual. I agreed, but then I brought in my own spiritual advisor, who declared our union catastrophic for me. I called off the wedding, blaming the universe. And then I, 29 male, was supposed to marry Cassandra, 27, next month. Her family had always been intense about their spiritual beliefs. Crystal healing, moon water, sage burning, the whole 9 yards. I'm not judging, everyone needs something to believe in. But 3 weeks ago, they crossed a line that opened my eyes to something way darker. Cassandra's mom, Dolores, insisted we meet with their family spiritual advisor before the wedding. She called her Madame Celestine. This woman supposedly guided their family through all major life decisions for the past 15 years. We drove to this lady's house, a normal suburban home, drowning in wind chimes and those reflective garden balls. Inside looked like a New Age store exploded. The smell of incense was suffocating. Madame Celestine took one look at me and gasped. Like hand to chest, pearls clutching, gasped. Oh my, oh dear, the darkness, it's overwhelming. Cassandra squeezed my hand. What do you mean? Your fiancé carries a terrible energy, a curse perhaps from a past life. It will destroy your family's spiritual harmony. I sat there thinking this was some kind of joke. It wasn't. Dolores immediately started panicking. I knew something was off. Remember the wine glass that broke at dinner last month? And how their cat hissed at him? The cat hissed because I accidentally stepped on its tail, but okay. Madame Celestine circled me, waving her hands around like she was swatting invisible flies. The wedding cannot proceed unless we perform a complete spiritual cleansing. It's extensive work, dangerous for me. Here it comes, I thought. The ritual requires specific materials: blessed candles from Peru, purified salts from the Dead Sea, protection crystals that must be charged under 3 full moons, plus my time and energy, $8,500. I almost laughed, but then I saw Cassandra's face. She was buying it. Every single word. We need to do this, she said. For our future. Cass, that's almost $9,000 for some candles and salt. Dolores jumped in. If you truly love my daughter, you wouldn't put a price on her spiritual safety. Cassandra's sister, Theodora, yes, really, chimed in. Maybe the bad energy is why you're being so resistant. The darkness doesn't want to be cleansed. They all stared at me. Cassandra had tears in her eyes. Please, baby, if you love me. And that's when something clicked. This wasn't the first time money had come up with her family. There was the investment opportunity in Dolores's friend's essential oil business, $3,000. The emergency loan for Theodora's healing retreat certification, $2,200. The special crystals Cassandra absolutely needed for Mercury retrograde, $500. I'd been getting fleeced for 2 years. You know what? You're right. Let's do the cleansing. They all looked shocked that I agreed so easily. But, I continued, I want to bring my own spiritual advisor too, for a second opinion. That's reasonable, right? They couldn't really say no without looking suspicious. 2 days later, I brought Jerome. Jerome was my college roommate who did community theater. Dude could have been on Broadway if he hadn't become an accountant. I paid him $200 to put on the performance of his lifetime. He showed up in this flowing purple robe thing we bought from a costume shop, carrying a briefcase full of random rocks from my garden and dollar store candles. I introduced him as Master Aurelius, a spiritual counselor who studied under Tibetan monks. The second Jerome walked into Madame Celestine's house, he froze. His eyes went wide, then wider. Then he started backing away. No, I cannot. What's wrong? Dolores asked, suddenly nervous. Jerome pointed at Cassandra with a shaking hand. The spiritual discord, it's catastrophic, this union. He pulled out a compass, my actual camping compass, and it spun wildly, magnets hidden in his sleeve. She will drain his life force completely within 3 years, maybe less. Cassandra went pale. That's not true. Madame Celestine, tell him. But here's the beautiful part. What could she say? If she denied it, she'd be admitting the whole thing was BS. Madame Celestine just stood there, trapped. Jerome pulled me aside dramatically. You must leave. Now. Every moment you stay connected to this family damages your aura further. I've seen men reduced to empty husks. I turned to Cassandra, trying to look devastated. I can't risk it. The universe has spoken through 2 advisors now. We can't fight fate. But the cleansing ritual won't work, Jerome interrupted. The incompatibility is too severe, like mixing bleach and ammonia. Separately they're fine, together they're toxic. I left that day. Blocked Cassandra on everything, citing spiritual protection as recommended by Master Aurelius. The meltdown was epic. Update 1. Holy crap, you guys were right about extinction burst being a real thing. So after I blocked Cassandra everywhere, the texts to my friends started. She was worried about my mental health and thought I was being manipulated by a false prophet. But it got better. Dolores showed up at my work. Security had to escort her out. She was screaming about how I was spiritually attacking her daughter, and she brought sage to burn in our lobby. The receptionist, Bethany, told me she actually lit it before security arrived. Set off the smoke alarms. The entire building had to evacuate. My boss called me in. I explained everything, showed him the texts demanding $8,500 for the cleansing. He actually laughed. My ex-wife fell for something similar. Cost me 15 grand for chakra realignment. Good for you for getting out. Then Theodora started leaving reviews on my company's Google page from different accounts, all claiming I had dark energy that made their services spiritually compromised. One literally said, "The accountant Jordan brings evil spirits to the workplace. I could feel them through the phone." Our IT guy, Raj, figured out they were all coming from the same IP address. We sent a cease and desist. But here's where it gets good. Jerome, still living his best life as Master Aurelius, got a call from Madame Celestine. She wanted to discuss our different readings. Translation: she was panicking about losing a cash cow family. Jerome recorded the whole call. Legal in our state. She offered to split future cleansing fees if he'd reverse his reading. 50%. She literally said, these people are good for at least $30,000 a year between the three of them. 30,000 a year. I'd been dating Cassandra for 2 years. They'd extracted over 60 calories from these people and were planning to milk me for God knows how much after the wedding. Jerome sent me the recording. I now had evidence of fraud. But wait, there's more. Cassandra's dad, Richard, who'd been mysteriously quiet through all this, called me from his office. Turns out he doesn't buy any of the spiritual stuff but goes along to keep peace. He wanted to meet for coffee. "Jordan, I need you to know something. The money you gave them never went to retreats or emergencies. Dolores has been funding Celestine's lifestyle. They're involved." Involved? Celestine and my wife. It's been going on for years. The spiritual advisor thing is just cover. Theodora knows. Cassandra doesn't. My jaw hit the floor. He'd been funding his wife's affair through fake spiritual services. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you did what I couldn't. You got out. And maybe this will help me finally leave too." He gave me bank statements, screenshots, everything. The Peruvian blessed candles, ordered from Amazon. The Dead Sea salts. Morton's kosher salt repackaged. The retreat Theodora went to, a cruise with her boyfriend. I had enough evidence to bury them. Update 2. The universe really does work in mysterious ways, guys. So I sat on all that evidence for a few days trying to decide what to do. Then Cassandra made the decision for me. She started a GoFund, just kidding. She did something worse. She contacted my mother, told her I was having a spiritual crisis and needed an intervention. That I joined a cult, literally called Jerome's one-time performance a cult. My sweet, 65-year-old mother was in tears when she called me. "Jordan, honey, Cassandra says you've fallen in with some dangerous people. She's so worried. She loves you so much." That's when I decided to go nuclear. First, I sent Richard's evidence to a lawyer friend who specializes in fraud cases. She said it was definitely actionable, especially the recorded call about the $30 annual extraction. Then, I did something petty but beautiful. I created my own spiritual advisory page on Facebook. Posted all about how Master Aurelius had saved me from a spiritually toxic situation. How he'd detected financial vampirism disguised as false enlightenment. But here's the kicker. I tagged every single person who'd ever commented on Dolores's spiritual posts. Every person from their meditation groups. Everyone from Madame Celestine's client list, found through some mutual friends who'd also been scammed. Then I posted the Amazon receipts for the blessed candles. The salt container comparison photos. Everything except the affair stuff. I'm petty, not cruel to innocent parties. The page got 500 shares in 2 days. Madame Celestine's other clients started demanding refunds. One guy, Marcus, commented that he'd paid $12,000 for a generational curse removal that was supposed to help his business. His business went bankrupt 6 months later. Then Dolores tried damage control. She went live on Facebook, crying about how I was spreading darkness and attacking divine truth. But she made a mistake. She went live from Celestine's house. Richard was supposed to be at a work conference. He wasn't. He was parked outside watching his wife's location. He walked in during the live stream. You could hear everything. So this is where the spiritual emergencies happen? In her bedroom? The live cut off, but not before 200+ people heard it. The fallout was immediate. Cassandra called me sobbing. Not about us, about her mom. She'd finally put the pieces together. All those overnight meditation retreats, the spiritual bonding sessions she was never allowed to attend. You knew, didn't you? When Jerome did his reading, you knew about Mom. I found out after Cass. Your dad told me. I gave her everything, every bonus, every tax return for her spiritual journey. It was all lies? The cognitive dissonance was brutal to hear. But then she said something that reminded me why I left. This is your fault. If you'd just done the cleansing ritual, none of this would have happened. You manifested this negativity. Even faced with evidence of years of fraud, she was still blaming me. I hung up. But the universe wasn't done yet. Turns out Madame Celestine wasn't just scamming spiritual services. She hadn't been paying taxes on her donations for spiritual guidance. Someone, definitely not me, definitely not Richard, may have forwarded all those bank statements to the IRS. Last I heard, she's under investigation for tax evasion on about $300,000 of unreported income over 5 years. Update 3. This will probably be my final update because I'm ready to move on. But you all deserve to know how this cosmic comedy ended. Richard filed for divorce. He's using the fraud evidence to argue that Dolores misappropriated marital funds. His lawyer thinks he'll get the house and majority of assets since there's proof she gave away hundreds of thousands to her affair partner under false pretenses. But Dolores didn't go quietly. She tried to countersue, claiming Richard was spiritually abusive by not believing in her practices. Her lawyer dropped her when she insisted on bringing Madame Celestine as her spiritual expert witness, while Celestine was under IRS investigation for fraud. The judge's face, according to Richard's lawyer, was professionally neutral but humanly exhausted. Theodora picked a side, money's side. She testified against her mother in exchange for Richard not pursuing the $20,000 she'd taken for various emergencies. Threw Dolores under the entire bus, claiming she'd been brainwashed and financially manipulated by a trusted parent. The betrayal broke something in Dolores. She went on another Facebook Live, but this time from her car, ranting about ungrateful children and fake shamans. She accidentally admitted to knowing Celestine was overcharging clients and taking a cut. I deserved that money. Do you know how hard it is to be spiritually gifted in a materialistic world? The universe owed me. Someone screen recorded it. It has 2.8 million views on TikTok now. The comments are brutal. But here's the real karma. Cassandra reached out last week, not to apologize or reconcile. She wanted to know if I still had Jerome's contact. Why? I need a real spiritual advisor. Someone authentic. The energy in my life is all wrong now. I told her Master Aurelius had returned to Tibet for silent meditation. Permanently. She then asked if I knew any other spiritual advisors. The lack of self-awareness is astronomical. I blocked her again. Jerome, meanwhile, has been getting actual requests for spiritual consultations. He's referring them all to legitimate therapists. We joke about starting Master Aurelius merch, but honestly, the whole thing exhausted both of us. Richard sent me a thank you card with a $5,000 check. I tried to refuse, but he insisted. You saved me from probably another 20 years of funding my wife's affair. Consider it a fraction of what you saved me. I donated it to an actual charity that helps fraud victims. Dolores now lives with her mother. Theodora moved to another state for a fresh start, aka nobody there knows about the viral video. Cassandra quit her job to become a life coach focused on spiritual awakening through betrayal. She has 3 clients. They're all her friends who feel bad for her. Madame Celestine pled guilty to tax evasion and got 2 years probation plus massive fines. Her house is in foreclosure. She started a new business doing tarot readings at the local flea market. Richard sends me photos sometimes of her setup between the knockoff purse stand and the guy selling definitely real Rolexes. As for me, I'm dating Adrienne from my hiking group. She's an engineer who calls crystals rocks and thinks sage smells like burned socks. When I told her this whole story on our 3rd date, she laughed so hard she snorted wine out her nose. Wait, so you paid your roommate to destroy your engagement? That's the most beautifully petty thing I've ever heard. She insisted on meeting Jerome. They're friends now. She calls him Master Aurelius when he's being dramatic about his coffee order. Some nights I think about what would have happened if I'd just paid the $8,500. Would I have eventually discovered the affair? Would I have been funding Dolores's deception for years like Richard? Would Cassandra have ever seen the truth? Then I remember that text she sent after everything imploded. You destroyed my family with your negative energy. Madame Celestine was right about you. Even after everything, the fraud, the lies, the affair, the IRS investigation, I'm still the villain in her story, the dark energy that corrupted her perfect spiritual family. You know what? I'm okay with that. Better to be the villain who escaped than the hero who pays $8,500 for candles from Amazon. The universe works in mysterious ways indeed. Sometimes it works through a theater kid with a compass and magnets up his sleeve. Master Aurelius sends his blessings to all of you. May your auras stay bright and your families stay away from fake psychics. My fiancé's bachelorette instructions. No recording devices. What happens tonight dies tonight. I said, have your privacy. The private investigator I hired had different instructions. What her parents saw at the rehearsal dinner made her dad cancel the wedding. The PI said it was the easiest $500 he ever made. I, 29 male, was supposed to get married last Saturday. Instead, I'm sitting in my apartment, single, with a refunded honeymoon ticket, and the most insane story about how everything imploded. Rewind to 3 weeks ago. My fiancée Qley, 27, was planning her bachelorette party. She'd been super secretive about it, which was fine. I figured her maid of honor Astrid was planning some wild night out. Whatever, we all deserve to blow off steam before the big day. But then Qley sat me down with this whole serious conversation about boundaries and trust. So here's the thing, she said, not quite meeting my eyes. The girls and I have one rule for the party. No phones, no recordings, nothing. What happens that night dies that night. I shrugged. Okay, have fun. You're not worried? Should I be? She laughed, but it sounded forced. No. Go. No, it's just, you know how bachelorette parties get. We might do karaoke badly or dance on tables, girl stuff. I don't want it ending up on Instagram where my boss might see. Made sense to me. Her company was pretty conservative. Babe, go nuts. I trust you. She kissed me, and that was that. Or so she thought. See, something about that conversation stuck with me. Not the no phones thing. That's actually pretty common now. It was the way she kept emphasizing it. 3 separate times over the next week, she mentioned how everything stays private, and what happens there doesn't matter. Then Astrid let something slip when she was drunk at our couple's game night. We were playing Never Have I Ever, and she giggled. Never have I ever hired entertainment for a party that required an NDA. Qley went white. That's for my cousin's birthday next month. But Astrid was already 3 shots deep. Oh right, that's the other party with the hot guys. Qley practically tackled her. They left early. That's when I made the call. I found a PI online, older guy named Hank who looked like he'd seen everything twice. Told him the situation. He laughed. Son, I've done maybe 50 of these bachelorette party jobs. Half the time it's nothing, just girls getting plastered and crying about their youth ending. The other half, he trailed off. Well, let's just say your gut's usually right. $500 flat rate, I'll have someone inside within the hour after they arrive. Photos, videos if needed, full report. How? They're banning phones. I'm not using their phones, leave that to me. The bachelorette party was that Friday. I acted normal, kissed Qley goodbye, told her to have fun, even joked about her coming home with penis-shaped party favors. She seemed relieved I was being so cool about it. Saturday morning, I woke up to a text from an unknown number. This is H. You need to see this before she comes home. Meet me at the coffee shop on 3rd. My stomach dropped. Hank was sitting in the corner with a laptop. He looked tired. Kid, I'm sorry, I really am. He turned the screen toward me. The video was crystal clear. Some private room at an upscale club. Qley, in a white bride sash, surrounded by 8 of her friends, and 3 male strippers, except they weren't just stripping. I watched my fiancée enthusiastically making out with one of them while Astrid cheered her on. Then it got worse. She gave him her room key. I recognized the hotel key card holder I'd bought her. The video jumped to hotel corridor footage. Qley stumbling into her room with the guy. Him leaving 2 hours later, adjusting his belt. There's more, Hank said quietly. Audio from inside the party room. He hit play. Clear as day, Qley's voice. Last chance to bang someone who actually has abs. Jordan's sweet, but let's be real, he's gotten soft since college. The other girls laughed. Astrid's voice. Girl, get it all out of your system now. Marcus is so hot and he's totally clean. I got his test results myself. You're the best MOH ever. Jordan would die if he knew, but what he doesn't know won't hurt him. I'll play the perfect wife after this. I stopped the video. Couldn't watch anymore. How? Was all I managed. Hank shrugged. Bartender was wearing a wire. She's done this before for me. Her cousin went through something similar. The hallway footage is from hotel security. My nephew works there. Is this even legal? Recording in a private venue with consent from an employee? Gray area, but not illegal. The hotel footage is security footage for safety purposes. You didn't obtain it illegally. I showed it to you. What you do with it is your business. I paid him, took the USB drive, and went home to think. Qley came home Sunday afternoon, looking exhausted but happy. Gave me this big hug and kiss, told me she missed me, that the party was fun but tame, mostly just dancing and drinks. She even had the balls to show me staged photos they'd taken before the no-phone rule, all of them in pajamas having a spa night. I played along. The wedding was in 6 days. The rehearsal dinner was Thursday. Monday, I called her dad, Richard. Hey, can you and Diane come over? Need to discuss something about the wedding. They arrived looking concerned. Richard was old-school military, straight-laced. Diane was a kindergarten teacher. Good people who'd raised what I thought was a good daughter. I need you to watch something. It's gonna be hard. I showed them everything. Diane started crying halfway through. Richard's face went from confused to shocked to furious. His jaw was clenched so tight I thought he'd crack a tooth. That's not, she wouldn't. The timestamp is Friday night, 11:47 p.m. Richard stood up, paced to the window, then spun around. The wedding's off. Richard, Diane gasped. No, I didn't raise a cheater. And I'm sure as hell not paying 30 grand for a sham wedding. Jordan, I'm sorry, son, I'm so damn sorry. What do I do? I asked. If I cancel now, she'll know I know. Richard got this look, the strategic one that probably served him well in the military. You do nothing. Act normal. Thursday night at the rehearsal dinner after everyone's seated, we handle it. Publicly. Richard, that's cruel, Diane protested weakly. Cruel? Our daughter screwed another man 5 days before her wedding while mocking the man she claims to love. That's cruel. This is consequences. They left promising to handle their side. I had 3 days to pretend everything was fine. Update 1. Holy hell, you guys were right about the trickle-truthing. Monday night, after her parents left, Qley must have sensed something. She started probing. You've been quiet. You okay? Just wedding stress. You sure? You seem different since my party. I'm fine. Then she did something weird. She started love-bombing me, made my favorite dinner, initiated intimacy. I declined, said I was tired. Kept telling me how excited she was to be my wife, how I was the only man she ever loved. Tuesday, Astrid called me. Hey, just wanted to check in about the groomsmen gifts. We'd already sorted that weeks ago. This was fishing. All good. Why? Oh, just, Qley's worried you're acting strange. Did someone say something about the party? What would they say? Pause. Nothing. Just, people talk, but nothing happened. I didn't say anything, did. She hung up fast. Wednesday morning, Qley tried a new tactic. She sat me down, tears in her eyes. I have to confess something. At my party, we hired strippers. I didn't want to tell you because I thought you'd be hurt, but I can't start our marriage with secrets. I stayed quiet. Are you mad? It was just dancing, I swear. Astrid thought it would be funny. and I didn't want to be a buzzkill. Just dancing? Yes, God, yes, you believe me, right? Sure. She looked relieved but also suspicious. You're taking this really well. Qley, we're getting married in 3 days. I'm not gonna freak out over strippers. She hugged me tight, whispered, you're the best. Those guys were gross anyway. All muscles, no substance, not like you. The absolute audacity. Then came the extinction burst Wednesday night. Her phone died, and she borrowed mine. I watched her check my texts, emails, even my deleted folder. She found nothing because I'd been using a burner to communicate with Richard. She handed it back looking frustrated. Your phone's acting weird. Is it? Yeah, never mind. Thursday, rehearsal dinner day. Qley woke up early, made breakfast, kept kissing my cheek. Tomorrow I'll be your wife. Can't wait, I lied. At 2 p.m., Richard called her. I heard her sigh. What do you mean you need to see me? Dad, I'm getting my nails done. Fine, I'll come by after. What's wrong? You sound? Okay, I'm coming now. She left looking worried, came back an hour later looking relieved. Everything okay? Yeah, Dad's just emotional about giving me away. Got all weepy. Military tough guy crying, can you imagine? Richard had played her perfectly. Whatever he'd said had lowered her guard. The rehearsal dinner was at 6. Nice restaurant, private room. 40 people, wedding party, immediate family, close friends. I'd insisted we do speeches and toasts, said I wanted to practice my vows. Everyone thought that was adorable. Qley looked stunning. White dress, of course, hair done, laughing with everyone. She gave a toast about how she'd found her forever person and couldn't wait to start our life together. Then Richard stood up. I wanted to share something special for my daughter's big day. A video montage of Qley growing up. Qley beamed. Diane looked sick. I kept my eyes on my plate. The screen behind Richard lit up. Baby photos, kid Qley at Christmas, teenage Qley at prom. Then the bachelorette party. The room went dead silent. The video played for maybe 15 seconds. Qley straddling the stripper, hands in his hair clearly making out, before Qley screamed, "Turn it off. Turn it off." Richard didn't move. This was last Friday, 5 nights before my daughter's wedding. The video kept playing. You could hear Qley's voice clear as day. Last chance to bang someone who actually has abs. Astrid jumped up. This is fake. Someone deep-faked this. But then the hotel footage played. Crystal clear. Qley with the guy entering her room. Qley's cousin Emma gasped, "Oh my God." There's more, Richard said calmly. But I think we've seen enough. The wedding is cancelled. Qley, you have until tomorrow to return the ring and move your things out of Jordan's apartment. Qley turned to me, mascara streaming. Jordan, baby, I can explain. Explain what? The guy you banged or calling me soft and pathetic to your friends? Someone, I think her aunt, started crying. Astrid was typing furiously on her phone. My groomsman Derek muttered, "Holy shit," and downed his whiskey. Qley's brother stood up. This is insane. You hired someone to spy on her? Actually, I said, standing, I hired someone to document what she was so insistent on keeping secret. If nothing happened, we'd be getting married tomorrow. But something did happen, right? Qley, she was hyperventilating. It didn't mean anything. It was just one last hurrah. One last hurrah. Her mom finally spoke. Qley Marie, is this true? Did you sleep with another man? Qley's silence was answer enough. Richard pulled out his phone. I've already contacted the venue, the caterer, and the florist. We'll lose deposits, but most costs are refundable with 24-hour notice. Anyone who wants to help with cancellation calls, I'd appreciate it. The room exploded. Qley's friends were defending her, saying everyone makes mistakes. My side was in shock. Her elderly grandmother was praying loudly in Italian. Qley grabbed my arm. Please, Jordan, please don't do this, I love you. It was just sex. Just sex, right? And the part where you called me pathetic? I was drunk. The girls were all talking about their hall passes and I got carried away. Hall pass? We never discussed hall passes. Astrid stepped forward. This is my fault. I pressured her. Jordan, please. You didn't pressure her to give him her room key. That shut everyone up. Qley's brother Troy tried one more time. You're really gonna humiliate my sister like this? What kind of man are you? Derek, God bless him, stood up. The kind who doesn't marry cheaters. I walked out. Could hear Qley sobbing, Richard arguing with someone, chairs scraping. Didn't care. Update 2. The aftermath was intense. Friday, what would have been our wedding day, I woke up to 47 texts. Most from Qley, ranging from apologetic to angry to bargaining. Some highlights: I'll do anything, counseling, polygraph, post-nup, whatever you want. You're throwing away 4 years over one mistake. I hope you know you'll die alone. No one will ever love you like I did. This is what you wanted all along, wasn't it? An excuse to leave. Astrid sent me a long message about how I'd violated girl code by recording them and that she'd make sure everyone knew what a controlling psycho I was. I replied with the audio of her saying she got the stripper's STD test results. She blocked me. But here's where it gets really good. Turns out, Qley had been bragging to her coworkers about the wedding. Her boss, Keith, had even given her an extra week off for the honeymoon. So when she showed up to work Friday in tears, everyone was confused. Her version: I'd called off the wedding because I was having an affair. She actually told people I'd been cheating and projected it onto her at the rehearsal dinner to save face. This worked for exactly 3 hours until someone, still don't know who, sent Keith the video. Qley worked at a financial firm that had a strict morality clause, something about representing company values at all times. Getting railed by a stripper 5 days before your wedding? Not a great look. They didn't fire her, but she got demoted from senior analyst to junior, lost her upcoming bonus, and had to undergo professional conduct training. Then Troy started his campaign. Posted on social media that I was an abusive manipulator who hired someone to stalk his sister. The post went semi-viral in our city. But Derek had my back. He commented with screenshots of the texts Qley sent me, including the one where she admitted it happened and begged forgiveness. Troy deleted the post, but screenshots were already circulating. Saturday, Richard called me. Jordan, I'm returning the ring to you. Qley left it on our doorstep with a note calling us judgmental fossils who chose a man over their own daughter. Keep it. Sell it. I don't care. No, son. You bought this. It's yours. Maybe you'll need it someday for someone who deserves it. That hit hard. Richard had basically just called me son while his actual daughter was imploding. Sunday was when Qley went nuclear. She showed up at my apartment with Troy and some guy I'd never seen. Turned out to be Marcus, the stripper. The actual stripper. We need to talk, she announced. We really don't. Marcus stepped forward. Yo bro, she said you were cool with it. I laughed. Actually left. She said what? She said you guys had an arrangement, open relationship before the wedding. That's the only reason Qley spun on him. Shut up. That's not what I said. Yeah, it is. You said he was probably doing the same at his bachelor party. Troy looked at his sister. Qley, what the hell? She was cornered. I might have said something like that, but... So you lied to him too? I asked. Cool. Marcus, my man, we never had that arrangement. She cheated. You were the weapon. Marcus went pale. Ah shit, bro, I'm sorry. I don't do the cheating thing. She said. I know what she said. You're good. He turned to Qley. You're crazy. Then just walked away. Got in his car and left. Troy was staring at his sister like he'd never seen her before. You lied to everyone. I was drunk. Why does no one understand that? Being drunk doesn't make you a different person, I said. It just reveals who you really are. She started ugly crying. Not cute tears. Full-on snot and wailing. You've ruined my life. I'll never recover from this. You ruined your own life. I just refuse to let you ruin mine too. Troy finally spoke up. Qley, we're leaving. Now. He basically dragged her away. But not before she screamed, I faked it every time. I called back. I know. That's why I was fine with you finding someone else. Troy actually snorted. Even he couldn't keep a straight face. Update 3. 2 weeks since the non-wedding and things have escalated in ways I didn't see coming. First, Qley's friends started a campaign to paint me as the villain. They created a whole narrative. I was controlling, jealous, probably abusive, definitely insecure. The bachelorette party was just harmless fun that I turned into something sinister because of my fragile masculinity. Emma, Qley's cousin who'd gasped at the rehearsal, reached out privately. Hey Jordan, just wanted you to know not everyone in the family is taking her side. What she did was gross. Grandma is so disappointed she removed Qley from her will, replaced her with the church. That made me feel slightly better until Monday happened. Monday, I got a letter from a lawyer. Qley was suing me for intentional infliction of emotional distress and invasion of privacy. She wanted $50,000 for damages to her reputation and career. I called Richard immediately. Did you know about this? Just found out. I'm cutting her off completely. Diane's heartbroken but agrees. We didn't raise her to be this creature. My lawyer, Jeremy, laughed when he saw the lawsuit. She cheated on you, admitted it in writing, and she's suing you? This is getting tossed immediately. But Qley wasn't done. She started showing up at places she knew I'd be. The gym, the coffee shop, even my buddy's bar. Always with different friends, always loud enough for me to hear her telling her version of events. He's so pathetic, hiring someone to stalk me. Probably watches the video every night like a creep. Her friend Simone was eating it up. Girl, you dodged a bullet. Imagine being married to someone that insecure. I switched gyms. Then came the real kicker. My ex from college, Amy, messaged me. Hey, random, but did you and Qley break up? She DM'd me saying you were single and that I should take my shot because you were desperate for attention. What's going on? Qley was trying to set me up with my ex. The same ex who cheated on me sophomore year. It was so bizarre, I actually laughed. But the universe has a sense of humor. Remember Marcus the stripper? Dude reached out. Sent me a long message apologizing again and asking if I wanted to grab a beer. Said he felt terrible about the whole situation. I figured why not. Met him at a sports bar. Turned out Marcus was actually a decent guy. Engineering student stripping to pay tuition. He was genuinely mortified about the whole thing. She was so convincing, man. Showed me texts that were supposedly from you saying it was cool. I should have known they were fake. The spelling was too good. The spelling? Yeah, she kept spelling "you're" wrong in her regular texts, but the fake ones from you were perfect. We actually became sort of friends. Weird, I know, but he gave me some interesting intel. Yo, so Astrid hired me for 3 other parties this year, all married women or engaged. She specifically tells us to show them a good time, if you know what I mean. She's running a cheating ring? Basically, she calls it last chance romance or some shit. Gets a cut if we close the deal. That explains so much. I sent that information to Keith, Qley's boss, anonymously. Astrid also worked there. The next week, Astrid was encouraged to seek opportunities elsewhere. The lawsuit got thrown out yesterday. The judge actually admonished Qley's lawyer for wasting the court's time. Qley had to pay my legal fees, $3,500. Richard texted me. She asked us for the money. We said no. She called Diane a failed mother. We're done. Last night I ran into Emma at a grocery store. She pulled me aside. Thought you should know. Qley's been telling people she's pregnant. What? Yeah. Says it's yours, that you're forcing her to terminate. More victim narrative. We haven't slept together in over a month. I know, we all know. She's not even pregnant. Troy found a negative test in her trash when he helped her move. Move? Oh, she got evicted. Couldn't make rent without the wedding money she was counting on. She's sleeping on different friends' couches. Astrid won't even take her calls since she got fired. I went home feeling nothing. Not happy, not sad, just empty. Then this morning, everything changed. Marcus texted, "Bro, you need to see this." It was a post from Qley in some wedding shaming group. She'd posted our whole story from her perspective, but she'd changed key details. In her version, the bachelorette party was just dancing. I'd hired multiple private investigators to stalk her for months, and the video was edited to look worse than it was. The comments were brutal but in her favor initially, until someone reverse image searched her profile pic and found Troy's deleted post, then found Derek's comments. Then someone who'd been at the rehearsal dinner chimed in. The tide turned fast. So you did cheat? Girl, you're leaving out major parts of this story. Found the video on another site. That's not just dancing. This you? Screenshot of her admitting everything via text. The post got deleted, but the internet never forgets. Final update. It's been 6 weeks since the wedding that wasn't. I need to write this last update and then I'm done. This whole thing has consumed enough of my life. The spiral continued in ways I never expected. 3 weeks ago, Qley showed up at Richard and Diane's house at 2 a.m., drunk out of her mind, with some guy nobody recognized. She was banging on the door, screaming about being their daughter and having rights. Richard called the cops. His own daughter. When they arrived, she took a swing at one of them. Got arrested for public intoxication and assault. The guy she was with bounced immediately. Turns out he didn't even know her last name. Richard bailed her out the next morning on the condition she go to rehab. She lasted 4 days before checking herself out, saying the place was full of actual addicts and she just liked to party. Diane finally broke, called me crying. What happened to our little girl? This isn't who we raised. I didn't have an answer. Then last week, Qley did something that actually shocked me. She created a fake dating profile using photos from when we were together, pretending to be me. Bio said things like, recent breakup, looking to punish my ex through you, and if you like controlling guys with trust issues, I'm your man. A coworker's wife saw it and told him, thinking it was real. He confronted me at work. I had to show him my actual dating profile, which I'd barely used, and prove the fake one wasn't mine. We reported it, got it taken down, but she made another, and another. Jeremy, my lawyer, sent her a cease and desist. She responded by posting it on social media with, "Look how pathetic he is, getting lawyers involved in a breakup." But here's the thing, people were starting to see through her. Troy messaged me, "I'm sorry about my sister. She's lost it. Mom and Dad want you to know you're still welcome at family events. Qley won't be there. We've gone no contact." Even some of her friends were backing away. Simone, who'd been her biggest supporter, commented on one of her posts. "Qley, this is getting concerning. Maybe take a break from social media?" Qley turned on her immediately, called her a fake friend and a jealous bitch who wanted Jordan for herself. Simone blocked her. The rock bottom came Thursday. Qley got arrested again. This time for keying someone's car, someone she thought was my new girlfriend. It wasn't. It was just a random woman who drove the same model car my ex Amy drives. She'd seen Amy's car in my apartment complex. Amy had stopped by to return some old stuff she'd found, assumed I was dating her, followed the wrong car, and caused $3,000 in damage. The woman pressed charges. Qley's looking at actual jail time. Richard called me one last time. "Jordan, I'm sorry. For everything, for what she put you through, for raising someone capable of this, for all of it. It's not your fault." "Maybe not. But I need you to know, the person you were going to marry doesn't exist. Maybe she never did. The daughter I thought I had. I was wrong." That hit different. Yesterday I got one final text from an unknown number. "This is Qley. Last phone I can borrow. Going away for a while. Treatment or jail depends on the court. Just wanted to say, actually no. I wanted to say I'm sorry but I'm not. You ruined everything. But also, Marcus told me what you said. That you knew I was faking it. You knew, and you still stayed. Why?" I responded, "Because I loved who I thought you were. I was her, sometimes. Sometimes wasn't enough." She didn't reply. Marcus and I grabbed one last beer. He's dating someone now, an actual relationship, not a client. Says the whole experience made him rethink his side gig. "Your ex did me a favor, honestly. Opened my eyes to what I was enabling. My life is oddly peaceful now. I'm in therapy," Jeremy insisted, said I needed to process this properly. Started dating someone new, Pam from my hiking group. She knows the whole story, finds it wildly entertaining but also deeply sad. "The saddest part," she said on our third date, "is that Qley had everything. A good man, a loving family, a solid career, and she threw it all away for what? A few hours with a stranger?" 2 hours, I corrected. Marcus left her hotel after 2 hours. Pam laughed. "Even worse. The wedding venue kept our deposit, but offered me a credit. I donated it to a domestic violence shelter. Felt like the right thing to do." Richard and Diane sent me a Christmas card. Inside, Diane wrote, "Our son in all but blood. Thank you for showing us the truth, even though it hurt." Troy messaged that Qley got 6 months probation and mandatory therapy. She's living in another state now with some aunt who's the only family still talking to her. Deleted all her social media. Astrid got engaged to some crypto guy who doesn't know about her past. Give it a year. Emma says Qley sent letters to the family apologizing but also blaming everyone else. Classic. As for me, I'm good. Genuinely good. Pam and I are taking things slow. She doesn't call me soft or pathetic, doesn't fake anything. It's nice. The PI Hank sent me a message last month. "Saw the news about your ex's arrest. Wild. Still the easiest $500 I ever made though. Girl practically filmed herself." He's right. In the end, Qley destroyed herself. I just refused to go down with her. To everyone asking if I regret how it went down, no. The public humiliation? She humiliated herself. I just made sure everyone saw it. The fallout? Actions have consequences. The only thing I regret is not seeing the real her sooner. But maybe I did see it. Maybe I just loved her enough to ignore it. Not anymore. Pam's coming over tonight. We're cooking dinner together. She actually knows how to use spices, unlike Qley, who thought salt was exotic. Small victories. Oh, and Richard sent me back the ring after all. Said to sell it and use the money for something that brings joy, not misery. Sold it yesterday. Bought a new gaming system and donated the rest to that shelter. Qley, if you're reading this from whatever phone you've borrowed now, this could have all been avoided. All you had to do was not bang a stripper 5 days before our wedding. That's it. The bar was literally on the floor and you brought a shovel. But thanks, I guess. You showed me what I don't want in a partner. And you gave me one hell of a story for parties. Edit, since people keep asking. Yes, Marcus and I are still friends. Weird, but true. Dude's actually hilarious. He's coming to my NYE party with his girlfriend. Pam thinks the whole situation is cosmically hysterical. Edit 2. No, I'm not sharing the video. Stop asking. It's evidence in Qley's criminal case now anyway. Edit 3. Qley's aunt reached out. Qley's in actual therapy now, not court-ordered but voluntary. Good for her, I guess. Still not my problem.